If you would like to win a free digital copy of this game, watch until the end of the video to find out more details on how you can enter for a chance to win a free copy of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, on to the review. It's puzzling how some video game developers can take up to 10 years or more developing something that fails to live up to the fans' hype and expectations, while other developers, such as Insomniac, can take half that much time and deliver something truly incredible. If you own a PS5 and did not or do not plan on buying this game, then you are doing yourself a disservice because Spider-Man 2 is amazing, spectacular, and the ultimate Spider-Man experience, pun intended.
Marco, why today? I'm so getting fired.
Now the game is not perfect and it's not without its flaws, but don't let that convince you that the game is not worth your money. It took me about 30 hours to get a 100% game completion, and every minute I spent in this game was well worth the money I paid. Not only did it feel great to play as two different Spider-Men, each with their own set of skills and abilities, but to explore this new expanded city and all it has to offer was truly an awesome experience, and you really do have a front row seat to some truly amazing storytelling that keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Hey man, glad you could make it. Looks like I'm just in time.
Keep it moving, Gargan.
Now, with any new game in a series, you can expect new gadgets, skills, and abilities, and there are some really unique ones here, which are either shared among both Spider-Men, as well as some abilities exclusive to each of the two Spider-Men. Throughout the game, you will unlock these powers and abilities through story progression, as well as purchasing them with various tokens earned from side activities and collectibles, as well as skill points you earn as you level up. Some of these upgrades will completely change this game from the previous two installments. We're talking improvements to combat with faster and stronger moves, new skills for improved stealth if you want a more quieter approach, and traversal. The web wings in particular is one of the best new additions to this game, as you're able to explore this larger city in a completely new way. But don't think you can only rely on the web wings to get around the city with constant dives like the Batman Arkham games. Just doing a dive is not going to give you the momentum you need to get around this city fast and swift. And that's okay. The web wings are not designed to completely replace your means of traversal or to replace the web swinging. You have to use anything and everything within your traversal skills to make it through the city as swiftly as possible. We're talking mixing web swinging, web zipping, dives, wall running, gliding with the web wings, using wind tunnels for increased speed, air vents to gain altitude, along with a couple of other skills that'll greatly add to your traversal. And thanks to the power of the SSD, you can move much faster than the previous games, and switching between the two Spider-Man and even fast traveling takes almost no time at all. It is fast and seamless. Now, I'll admit, at first I was a little bit concerned about feeling overwhelmed with 2 playable characters, each with their own set of missions and side activities to take part in. However, the game does a really good job with pacing, and not everything is mandatory to finish the story, so you can kind of go at your own pace if you're not in a rush to get a 100% game completion. Some of these activities are specifically designed for each of the 2 Spider-Men to take part in, one's for Miles and one's for Peter, and there is a mix of fun and interesting things to do and find, but sometimes you might come across something a little bit tedious, something like searching for the spider bots and some of the hunter bases. But nothing as tedious as the Wilson Fisk construction sites and the demon hideouts from the first game and the underground locations from the Miles Morales spin-off. These activities I felt were done a lot better this time, and more development time went into it so that it's not as frustrating to take part in.
Is the next generation of entertainment.
No way, dude.
Excellent! Cole, a brave young man, ready to experience the future firsthand.
Now, initially, I also thought that once I obtained the black suit, I would spend very little time with Miles going forward, but that ended up not being the case. I actually enjoyed Miles' story. I enjoyed watching him struggle trying to balance his time between Miles and Spider-Man, trying to finish his college essay so he can get into a good school, but also dealing with the need of a Spider-Man, even though we already have one in New York. Miles doing what he can to protect the city, his family, his friends, and some other young adult issues he has to deal with, something that we all go through in life.
I just heard 2 words. Missing in person. So I'm gonna say yes.
And of course, getting to experience that exaggerated swagger of a black teen. Thanks a lot, GameSpot. Truly.
It's quiet.
We also get a different look of a much violent, darker black suit Spider-Man, which is a bit odd to say for the black suit, but it is drastically different from previous versions of the black suit.
You have no idea.
You get to see how Peter is truly conflicted as he tries to focus his time with Harry as well as their new startup, and not so much time spent on mentoring Miles like he initially promised. And once you have the black suit, you truly feel the power and the brutality of this new black suit. You really feel the anger, and you will unlock new combat moves specifically for the symbiote. And you can really see this rage and anger that's portrayed perfectly by Yuri Lowenthal. This version of the black suit Spider-Man is much more violent, and it works really well in this game.
Raven even know what he did to Connors! Eyes on target! All so he could prove something?
Now, I initially thought that all of the alternate costumes from the previous 2 games would make a return, but not all of them did. Most of them did, however, and with the addition with the new color options, you do have a lot of options for how you want to dress your Spider-Man up, so to speak. Now, with Miles still being a bit of a newer character compared to Peter Parker, I felt like Insomniac probably had to be a bit more creative with some of his alternate costumes, but you are not going to be disappointed with some of the alternate costumes that he has. Trust me, it's a real treat for comic book fans. There was, however, a few costumes from the previous games that I hoped made a return here, and they didn't. but you do have some newer options that might make you happy as a replacement for those old ones you wanted to come back. Now I also have to explain that I felt the random crimes in this game were not really a priority this time around. You are no longer required to stop a certain number of crimes per district to complete that district's activities, and I found myself stopping the same crimes with the same type of criminals and enemies over and over again. However, these crimes do provide you some of the tokens that you need to unlock some of these skills and abilities, so you're gonna end up doing them anyway. However, there is a nice little surprise that can happen during these random crimes, and I'll leave it to you to experience it for yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you. And a couple of times throughout my gameplay, I experienced a couple of bugs. No, not these two. Technically, they are arachnids, but I did find some glitches here and there, something that would cause me to restart a checkpoint, restart the game sometimes, and I had one hard crash, but it barely happened, so it's not a real problem here. Probably something that can be fixed with another update somewhere down the road. Now, it is also a bit unfortunate that we do have the return of the MJ stealth missions, but they have gotten a bit better. She does have a way to defend herself this time around, so it is a bit more action compared to the first game. However, it wasn't really a welcomed break from the Spider-Man action because the game does a fine job fluctuating the action and the more slower paced moments throughout the game. And the game already has a really strong beginning and a lot of really strong moments, as well as a lot of heartwarming moments. So I felt like the MJ stealth missions weren't really needed at all, and maybe the only purpose of them was to give the actress a bit more of a role for this game.
Whoa! Traffic was awful. Sandman really made a mess.
Seems like you're getting the hang of that thing.
Well, it is convenient in the city, but I'm not convinced I'm a bike person.
Convince me.
And when it comes to the game's character models, especially within the main cast, I felt that there was some inconsistencies here. Peter's character model just looked okay, but not as detailed as Miles Morales. Harry looked a little bit funny. MJ looked the worst in my opinion, and a lot of people are saying the same thing online. Her character model is just bad. But none of the characters look as good as Kraven the Hunter. Honestly, if a huge portion of the budget went on Kraven, it clearly shows, because he is a very handsome guy in this game.
Then he was not the one.
Copy that. Awaiting orders, sir.
Prepare for the transfer tomorrow. And do not fail again.
Now, the game did also have its share of creative bosses and different boss fights, and it never felt frustrating or never felt cheated out of a fight. Yes, you will have those moments where you get your ass kicked, but nothing as difficult as a Souls game, for example. It never made me feel like I needed to rage quit, and I don't think anyone will get the feeling of rage quitting from these boss fights. Now, there wasn't a huge number of boss fights, but it also wasn't so little that it felt like it was missing a lot. There's a good number of them here, it doesn't feel overcrowded, and it felt like they were developed much more stronger this time around, and they are a lot more interesting in this game. Now, you will of course see some returning characters from the previous two games, and some of them will have a bit of a bigger role to play this time around, and some of them not so much, but it was still cool to see some of these characters return, see where they've been going through the last couple of years, what they've been up to, and I wish a few more characters would have made a return, but I understand not wanting the cast to be overcrowded. Plus, you gotta save something for the inevitable third game or even another spin-off.
It's just a lot right now. So much to take care of in the city. Super stressed about my college essay. Pete's busy doing other stuff. And Lee's still out there. Doesn't that bother you?
Of course it bothers me.
Now, if you are a hardcore comic book fan, I highly recommend you spend your time traveling and exploring the city, because there's a lot of hidden Easter eggs and references that you will find similar to the last two games. And I, for one, recommend starting with this one right here, a little freebie for you. And I cannot wait to see what other secrets are hidden throughout this game. I honestly cannot recommend any more than I already have that if you own a PlayStation 5, you need to play this game immediately. Now, there is no New Game Plus currently, but it is going to be released before the end of the year, as Insomniac stated. But yes, I highly recommend that you buy this game and play this game, and I cannot wait to see what Insomniac does next with Wolverine. That's my review of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I'm Anthony Olan. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you are enjoying about the game, what you were expecting to happen, what are your excitements for the next Wolverine game. And if you would like for me to do a free giveaway to give out a free digital copy of this game, all you have to do to enter is subscribe to my channel and type down in the comments, "With great power comes great responsibility." I will choose a random winner in maybe the next video or two, depending on how many subscribers and comments I get for the giveaway. Again, I will be attempting to give away a free digital copy of this game if you subscribe to my channel and type in the comments, "With great power comes great responsibility." I'm Anthony Olan, and I'll see you guys next time.